Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome to the first omnibus of the new year. I do one of these a month, and I will go through as much of it as I can throughout the course of the month. This was sort of a little Christmas present to myself. As some of you know, STARLORD is one of my all-time favorite Marvel characters. Going all the way back to, I want to say, 1974, 1975. And this particular omnibus collects the Star-Lord stories from Marvel Preview number 4, 11, 14 through 15, and number 18, as well as the Marvel Super Spectacular number 10, Marvel Spotlight 1979, 6 through 7, Marvel Premiere number 61, and Star-Lord 1996, number 1 through 3. Written by such greats as Chris Claremont, Steve Englehart, and Doug Moench, along with Timothy Zahn, who wrote the 1 through 3 that I didn't even know existed. And we had some great illustrators by Stephen Gann, John Byrne, one of my favorites, Carmine Infantino, and Bill, I'm going to butcher this name, Cienki? Yeah, forget it. And Gene Colan, Tom Sutton, and Dan Lewis. I have a lot of these issues that I just mentioned in their original form, but you know me, I love omnibuses. They compile the best of both worlds. Better cover, better paper, easier to access format. I was just talking to a friend of mine. I absolutely hate going into my bagged and boarded comic books because every time I do, I rip the tape so that the tape becomes useless. There needs to be a better system or a better kind of tape. Maybe you guys can clue me in on that, because Scotch tape just doesn't cut it. And this volume is partially black and white, and there are a bunch of color issues, including, like I said, the 1996 Timothy Zahn version, which looks stunning. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm only into the first couple of issues that retell the origin of Star-Lord, Peter Quill. Real quick, you guys also know that I cannot stand the new Star-Lord. They're not even the same person, as far as I can tell. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy and some other stuff, and I admittedly, he seems like a fun character, but they're not the same guy. Let's just keep it simple. The original Peter Quill grew up as a somewhat sensitive child, a single mother, father not in the picture, not sure exactly why. One day, they live out in the boonies somewhere. I want to say Louisiana or Kentucky or something like that, maybe Tennessee. And he witnesses his mother killed by aliens. UFO lands, and for some reason these weird aliens come out and they kill her, and nobody believes him. He ends up in an orphanage, and he becomes this hardened, go-getter who just absolutely, not only thirsts for, revenge, but he has planned his whole life, actually, to join NASA and become an astronaut, which he kind of does, but then one day something happens where they encounter, I think, the predecessor Star-Lord, that eventually kind of gives him, or makes him a Star-Lord, which is kind of an intergalactic Texas Ranger, roaming the galaxy looking for injustice. And he decides that he's going to be the guy, even though they want to make somebody else the Star-Lord. And he's like, no, it's me. And he does some kind of shady stuff to become the Star-Lord, which is kind of weird. It was kind of like he's kind of a bad guy right now, isn't he? But his thirst for knowledge and answers supersedes his desire or ability to kill, which becomes a thing, and he gains the powers of the Star-Lord, being able to fly around in space without needing, a protective suit and all kinds of other things. He also has this really cool weapon that has the power over the 4 elements, water, wind, fire, and earth, and he can literally shoot beams, or in one case a little tidal wave, out of the gun, because he can't bring himself to kill the bad guys that are in the particular situation. And that's almost as far as I went. The next part goes into his story where he's going up against some slavers with the help of Kip, and I forget the girl's name. I told myself not to forget it, but there's a girl, and the guy and the girl are like regular normies from different worlds. The girl's a thief, of course, and he's a sea Viking, which is kind of cool. And there's slaves on the ship, and Star-Lord is trying to break up the slaving ring, and these two characters begin to help him in his quest to track down the slavers. And then once they have the information, they're trying to get to the Emperor, and his ship just gets racked with all kinds of damage, and he has to put the two normies in a life pod, and they go down to the planet while he tries to fix the ship or whatever. But I would be remiss if I didn't talk about his ship. His ship is named Ship, and she is a quasi-mechanical life form that seems to have a bit of a crush on him, which is very reminiscent of the computer virus on the old Star Trek show, where the computer starts calling Kirk honey, and the ship seems to be, very enamored with him, and he, has developed a sort of symbiotic relationship with Ship. And I always liked the whole relationship between the two. He just needed his ship, and he would go off and go on adventures and rid the galaxy of injustice and things like that. More cosmic level adventures and shenanigans. And I was very lucky to find not only this, but a handful of Guardians of the Galaxy books. I'll show those off real quick as well. I got a really good deal on all of it. The hardcover Guardians of the Galaxy, not quite an omnibus, basically based on the movie Guardians of Nowhere, and then Guardians of the Galaxy, kind of an old school with Black Knight and Valkyrie and the Hulk and Doctor Strange. I'm guessing this is from the Defender era, where he was in the Defenders. I'll probably read this one next. It's also hardcover, but I got all of them for about $25, including shipping. So the fact that it had the original Star-Lord Omnibus in it was an added bonus, but that was kind of my Christmas present to me. I probably won't review the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, but I may review the other one. But this is what I've got in store for you. Like once a week, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. If you're interested, you can go grab it. It had a cover price of $35. So for the price of this one, I got all the others and $10 off. So it was really nice, and I'm going to get back to Ursharak and Battlestar Galactica. Have no fear, I haven't forgotten. I'm not going to, push them off, because I do want to read the rest of the Battlestar Galactica novels, and I do want to finish Ursharak. But that's what I've got for you this morning. It's the last day of the week. Happy Friday. Love you guys. Hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas, wonderful New Year, and hopefully you won't get too frustrated with the fact that the stores are full of Valentine's Day gift ideas and Easter stuff already. Obviously I'm a fan of Easter, but the fact that it's almost 4 months away, and they're already trying to get us to buy the candy and things like that, only to have them sit in our house for weeks, if not months, is kind of disconcerting. But topic for another day. Have yourself a great weekend. I will see you guys in my Savage Swords game, and then maybe we'll play some Star Wars Saturday night. I'll keep you posted. Until then, folks, I'll see you in the funny papers.